Back on this Sunday morning, Easter morning, with two candidates who would like to be the next trustee for Knox County. Again, that's essentially the county's banker. Right now, Ed Schaus in that office. He's been there for 2 terms and is leaving. So Justin Biggs, a current commissioner in Knox County, is running for that office as a Republican, and so is Richard Jacobs. Again, both of you we welcome. And John with a question.
Gentlemen, last week in preparation for this conversation with you guys, I called around to some of the other fee offices and I asked them, so what's something I ought to pose their way? And one thing I heard was, why do we need 5 satellite offices for the trustee's office? That would be one way in which the trustee's office could save money. Not to, boot people out of jobs or whatever, but so much payment is made, for example, online. United States federal government would take your payments online for taxes. So what about the idea of, if necessary, closing some of these satellite offices that the trustee's office has right now? Mr. Jacobs, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that the idea of figuring out how to lower the cost of collections is an absolute essential idea. And some of it starts with, if you're going to pay by credit card, today you pay 2.5% fee. Now, when I look around and talk to other merchant credit, we can lower that to 2% or below, and that saves the taxpayer money. Additionally, I think we need to look at other solutions that you can use to pay online that avoid the fee. And I think if we can come up with ideas of how to make it easy for people to pay, that allows them the flexibility to get to access of a computer or other things like that in case they don't have it, then the idea of closing these offices becomes feasible. But I would launch a feasibility study on how to lower the cost of collection.
And Justin, what about you? Do you see merit in closing satellite offices, or he's suggesting some other ways to look at maybe shaving costs?
Mr. North, sometimes things sound good on paper, but they're not good in reality. What you got to look at is we're there to provide a service for our community. And me being at the trustee's office for as many years as I have been, I've seen that the majority of the people that are coming to our satellite offices is they're elderly. And I think that we need to take every opportunity that we can to talk to our elderly. Our tax relief and tax freeze programs, those are very well maintained, but you have to come in and provide specific paperwork to them, and that's provided at our satellite offices. I would hate to take away something like that from them, as well as our disabled veterans that come in. In actuality, I think we should look at maybe taking full advantage of some of our drive-through systems to make sure that your wait time's not as long as in our satellite offices. If a feasibility study wants to be done to where we look into that to see if it's something we can do, then we may look at it at that point. But right now, the county clerk is actually the one that obtains the property, and we rent from them. So the dollar amount that's spent there for the basically the rate that we get back on our investment is something that I'm not really interested in, because I think that providing the service to our citizens is what's key right now.
I would also note the elderly vote.
Yes. Well, they do indeed. Well, let's talk about the return on investment question. And that is, one of the things that you're responsible for is delinquent taxes. How big a problem is that? And how do you plan to crack down on people who aren't paying those taxes? We'll stay with you, Justin Biggs.
That's a great question. Right now in my role, I am the collections administrator. When I started that, there was 15,000 pieces of delinquent property, and now there's a little over 7,000. You can do the math. We've been doing that for 8 years, so we've sold some property in the past few years. In the current market right now, by Hunts and Sale from KAR, there's over 5,000 realtors in Knox County and a little over 500 pieces of property on the MLS. Knox County has 7,000 delinquent properties. So I think what we do is we look at the parcels. We're working on tax sale 23 right now. It's got a little over 400 parcels. What we can do is look at a larger tax sale. The major issue with our tax sales right now is the right of redemption. The redemption period right now in Knoxville, Tennessee is a year, but what people don't realize is there's been some legislation passed just in the past few years that if you're delinquent 5 to 8 years, that's actually 6 months. 8 years and more, it's only 90 days. So what I think we need to do is buckle down and find all of our parcels in our computer system that's over 8 years delinquent and have a nice large tax sale that puts all those blighted properties back onto the market and gives everybody an opportunity to obtain some parcels and basically help clean up Knox County through that way. And right now, I'd say that we could do at least 1,000 parcel tax sale within my first year.
Your thoughts on that question, Mr. Jacobs?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one more comment around the last question around the community, the offices. And I think, part of what I'm saying is that seniors and veterans and other people don't always have the opportunity to go to the offices where they're located. And what I'm really proposing is that we have senior centers, we have veterans breakfast. I go to those every Saturday, and we can bring our office to them where they don't have to come and get an application and make multiple trips. We can make our offices mobile. We have 31 people, and figuring out how to maximize our deployment of those people, and for veterans, seniors, and the elderly, go to them as opposed to having them come to us. And that's part of what I'm saying would be a good feasibility study.
Fair enough. Just quickly to answer that final question on delinquent taxes.
Yeah, so on delinquent taxes, I know there's 7,000 or 8,000 parcels that are there, and I would congratulate everybody in the office who's done a good job of getting them down over the last years. And I would agree with my opponent, going through those 7,000 parcels, seeing which ones are the most valuable to free up is an excellent way to increase the property in the market. But again, more importantly, why did 7,000 parcels are past due? And how do we prevent people from going past due go forward? And so we need, again, to look at what is the root cause of why people aren't paying their taxes on time or being delinquent up to 8 years.
Gentlemen, we appreciate the conversation. Thank you for the specifics today, and we wish you both best of luck in the primary, and we'll certainly be in touch down the trail. Have a happy Easter.
Thank you both.
We're back with our conversation with the Democrat right after this.